What is up, everyone? I am Joe DeHoyos. I am the host of Beyond the Woodline. Before I introduce my guest, I just want to say to you guys have any strange encounters or strange experiences, whether it be UFOs, paranormal, cryptids, man, let me know if you want to come on the show. I'd love to have you on. If you just want to tell me your story, you can contact me on Facebook, Facebook Messenger, or just send me an email, which is at the bottom of the screen, beyond.woodline@gmail.com. And if anyone's interested in seeing some of these shows after the fact, they're available on YouTube. Go check it out. Go check out the channel, like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And tomorrow night, I'm going to have Big Dog Mendoza on the show. He's going to be a guest co-host. So if you guys want to check him out, he's a cool guy. One of the best guys in the Bigfoot field, if you ask me. But tonight, I have with me Jason Walker and Rosy Page. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, guys.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Man, it's been a while since I had you on. It was. And if I remember correctly, you were like a last minute fill in for somebody that canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shannon's like, let me get a hold of her. So I think Shannon got a hold of you. And, I actually had Shannon on the show like 2 nights ago. She came on.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her in a while either.
Yeah, she's no longer part of the show, but we're still friends and stuff. And it was like, people were always asking, what happened between you guys? I'm like, nothing happened. You
know? Life happened. Yeah, life
happens. Stuff gets in the way, Believe it or not, it's not always drama,
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, man, we were, it was good to have her back on the show, man. It's really cool. And it's good to have you guys back on. Good to have you back on. Good to have Jason on. Just to start off, man, tell me a little bit about the Night Terror Collective, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, sure, man. Well, we are a paranormal team out of the Fort Smith, Arkansas area. We both live actually in eastern Oklahoma, but we're on the border right there, Oklahoma and Arkansas. And then, man, it's a crazy area for all things paranormal, really. So, with ghosts or even Bigfoot or UFOs, it's all right here. It's kind of like it's kind of like a little mini spread out, I guess you would say, like Skinwalker Ranch area as far as activity goes. And then we've been together since 2018, I guess now, right? So right there, we've been doing it for a while. We've been lucky enough to investigate some of the most haunted places around the country, not just our area. So even though we do a lot of local stuff, but we're pretty spread out, and we have lots of experience in each individual field, is what I was mentioning about the ghost and the Bigfoot and everything. So it definitely keeps us busy. And we're always doing something. We're trying to, whether it's trying to do residential stuff, helping people, or going to more of the well-known locations, and doing what you see on TV, doing the same thing. So.
Yeah, I was looking at where you guys were at exactly. Like I said, I'm familiar with the area, kind of. I've never been there, but I've been into Arkansas a few times. I actually have friends that live in northern Arkansas. Yeah. But I've also been to Falk, Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
Home of the Legend of the Boggy Creek.
Right.
Yeah, I've been there, and I actually got a chance to go into the Crabtree property. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Crabtree family. They were part of the family that was involved with that whole movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek. It was the Ford family, the Crabtree family. Keith Crabtree is actually the guy that played the Bigfoot in that movie. I don't know if you remember the scene where the kid with a shotgun shoots him. It's he's in the woods and Bigfoot's in the woods. Anyway, that's Keith Crabtree, and he's a big dude. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool guy, man. And so I got a chance to go on Joe's Crabtree property, and right after that they sold it. So that was one of the last.
Oh, that's good. You got to go on there first before they sold it.
Yeah. It's one of my. It's one of the meccas. Falk is one of the meccas of the Bigfoot.
Right.
Have you guys
down in southern Arkansas. I guess that's where that's at. Not too far from us.
Yeah, it's just right across the border, really, from Texas.
Yeah.
You're right, and I think they made that. I believe they made that movie in the 70s. I think.
Yeah, like 74, 75, maybe something like that. Yeah, the early 70s. Before we go on, I got a really cool story. I had about 3 or 4 years ago, my sister was like, "Hey, you need to check out Becky on Facebook." One of our friends that we grew up with. She goes, "You need to check out her posts." And I went and I read it, and it was about her mom who had recently had a stroke, a massive stroke, and she couldn't talk, she couldn't really walk, but she saw a Bigfoot show come on TV, and she started just talking about Bigfoot, going on and on about Bigfoot. Even though they really couldn't understand her, they were glad that she was excited about it, and she was able to talk a little bit, and she was trying to really talk. But they got out of her that when she was a child, uh, that a Bigfoot would come out of the creek and come up to their house and look in their windows and stuff. And like Becky and her brother Thomas, they never knew this. They never heard this story before. So I asked them. I said, "Man, where's your mom from?" "She's from freaking Falk." Yeah.
Is she?
Wow.
Yeah, and and she said they would call it that it would come out of Muddy Boggy Creek is what they called it. Muddy
Yeah.
Boggy.
Is she a Native American?
No.
Hmm.
But I thought it was a pretty cool story, that. And I said, well, when you know what, when your mom has a good day, you need to really sit her down and talk to her. But she wound up dying shortly after. Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool story, and I think it goes to show that there's a lot of people out there with experiences and encounters,
Yeah.
that just never talked about it for whatever reason. But yeah, so have you guys had any encounters with any cryptids?
Well, that's I was
Some. You want to
I
tell
was
them
just
about
gonna
the
say
photos
that
from Haunted Hill House that you got? The photos out in the back behind the Haunted Hill House?
yeah I was we were at the Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas, and then we were doing an investigation there. I was snapping some pictures on the property outside of the house in the woods, and I was going through them. There's a picture that came across this little some sort of little creature looking thing. It wasn't a Bigfoot, but it was something. I mean, you can make it out the features of it a little bit, but you can't really tell what it is. Like the creature is really kind of the only way I can explain it. It was more alien like, I guess, but um, that area right there has activity of all kinds of things, including cryptids to people claim demonic stuff there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I actually went there, I guess, in 2019, the Haunted
Yeah.
Hill House. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're right. It's one of those areas for whatever reason attracts everything.
right. Yeah, it was. If you remember right, then it was outside the house, looking to the lot to the right, where there's no houses or anything like that, but there's a little bit of woods right there, and it goes in kind of open area, and it was just like I caught something. It was it was like peeking up trying to see what we were doing. Like everybody, it was curious, but you can't really make out what it was, but it's for sure something, and I'll see if I can't have that, and I'll send it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. But it's interesting.
Yeah. And I have some photos of what looks like a ghost dog for sure. And then I had some photos. I don't know where they're at. I could find them. What is it called? Gates of Hell or Hell's
Yep,
Gates? At the
Gates of
Gates of
Hell.
Hell, I had some photos, and it looked like there was some kind of cryptid in them. And I would say it looked like a gargoyle to me.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Like a
it was.
gargoyle or like a watcher, a guardian. I don't know, but like a gargoyle there. And that area is known for occult activity and rituals and witchcraft circles and witchcraft being done there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like you said that it kind of like an alien. You know, have you guys seen that show Two Face the Gray on Amazon?
What is it called?
It's
No.
called it's called Two Face the Gray.
Uh-uh.
It's on
No.
Amazon Prime. Man, you guys need to check that out. It's about a paranormal team that went out on an investigation, and they thought they caught like a full body apparition, because you can see it looking through the doorway and it'll come back like that, right? And when they were showing this video, people were like, "Dude, that's a gray. That's an alien." You know, it turns
Mhm.
out it's a very good possibility that these guys caught a gray on film because after that happened, government entities started coming down on them. The Men in Black started coming down on them. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, it's a whole
Oh wow.
it's a whole documentary. And like I said, they made this documentary thinking they were talking about a paranormal.
Yeah, spiritual or spirits.
And it's a very, very good possibility these guys caught a gray. They even were told, I don't remember, it was a phone call or one of the Men in Black came up to them and told them, you guys aren't showing this film. You're not showing this film yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Oh wow.
yeah, it's very good. Very good. And they did a documentary on that, of course. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool story, man.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, me too. I have Prime. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Write it down. Two Face
Um, so we do, going back to like more of the cryptid thing too, is that we do have a Bigfoot investigation that's ongoing that we haven't gotten back to, and it's been over a year and a half, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but in this area, it gets really, really, really hot in the summertime. So I would think that doing an investigation like that outside and out in the woods and everything, I would want to do it in more of the winter. But
No, the fall.
Yeah, fall, winter time, but definitely not the
You don't
summertime
like
around here.
summer, but I don't like as much the winter. So fall would be like in between for us.
Yeah, so we really need to get back into that. We have a witness that that saw this thing crossing the road, and she took us to the area and everything where everything happened at, and we need to go back up there and get back
We
into
never
that one.
interviewed
So
the people that lived near there either.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. I think October, November is a good time down here.
Mhm.
That's actually when I think you start hearing a lot more activity with those and tree knocks and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's when Arctic was around.
yeah. I mean, I guess I would just assume they're more, they're like us too. They don't want to get up and move around more, and when it's 100-some degrees outside either,
Right. Yeah.
Probably, since they're covered in hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Ticks every damn where. Yeah.
Ticks,
I can just
ticks,
imagine.
mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I can't stand ticks, man. I hate ticks so bad.
I hate mosquitoes.
I gotta get bit by one.
Yeah.
I get bit by a mosquito.
Yeah. I don't know. They both carry different kinds of diseases with them, so, the tick fever can kill you, and then, West Nile virus can kill you, so.
Yeah, I actually got a neighbor. She's down here in Houston. It's part of Harris County. She works for Harris County. So she keeps me updated on where the West Nile virus is at.
Mm.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah. Actually, she already found some traps with West Nile down there in Galveston.
Oh wow!
And she's like an expert on owls. So
cool.
Owls? That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So anytime I get like a weird recording, I like to let her see it. Hey man, think about this.
Yeah.
She'll tell me, oh, that's this type of owl, or that's this type of owl. Owls make some crazy sounds. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah.
We see them around here, but we've never. Well, I don't know about you, Rosy, but I've never had any kind of weird encounters with owls. But I know they can be. Yeah, I know a lot of people can link them.
I was raised on a farm, and my dad lived on a farm, and I lived out there with him. And there was an owl that would stay in the barn there, and I didn't know it was in there. in the barn, and we had stuff stored in the barn, like some of my daughter's bigger toys and stuff. You know, like how you buy those play kitchens and stuff, and you buy like Barbie cars and big kid toys, and you want to keep them somewhere where they're not going to get stolen or rained on. And so we put them in the barn, and I did not know what I was looking at. It was sort of dark, and it was an owl, and it scared the crap out of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will link them with paranormal encounters. So I mean, I know they have a link to that, and they're creepy. They can turn their head all the way around. That's weird.
Yeah, they're actually linked to UFO activity also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So last year, October, November, I had some strange activities happening, and man, I was hearing them owls all over the place. And
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
that's how I found out through my neighbor that she was involved with owls. She understood. She was like, "Are you hearing those owls?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm hearing them. Yeah, I'm seeing them too." And she's like, "Really?" And she goes, "Dude, those owls don't come down, this far, in the city." And there was 4 of them. Yeah. There was
Oh,
4.
wow.
In one area?
Yeah, one area hanging out together.
That's
Yeah, I
quite
got
a
pictures.
few.
Yeah, and which is kind of rare. It's not like extremely rare, but it's kind of rare for them to hang out together.
Yeah, they definitely don't gather around, and they try to avoid, people. So that's weird.
Yeah, I got pictures of the suckers. Yeah.
Huh.
I think if you can learn to communicate with animals, then you could probably come closer to finding out if Bigfoot was in an area or not. If you could learn the noises and the sounds and the alerts and the behaviors of animals in an area, if it's known or said to be like a Bigfoot area, I bet you could come closer to trying to figure out when to go look for Bigfoot or when you're going to have an encounter of Bigfoot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got some pretty good hotspots here in the Sam Houston Forest, which is about an hour north of Houston, and there's a couple of spots where I've known people who've had encounters there. So that's a couple of my hotspots. I like to go and set out recorders. We get some pretty good recordings. Nothing really definitive, but also we found definite footprints and impressions in the ground. I mean, solid footprints. Like unmistakable. Their toes and heels and arches and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we have found prints in one area, I think down to 3 inches and as high as 19 inches. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that area. That's where my friend Walter. That's how I met him. That's where he had his encounter. It was the one he saw was 9.5 feet tall, which is very rare for here down here in Texas to get that big.
Oh, wow.
Like in a wooded area?
Yeah, it's a very wooded area. It was down a dark road. It's a crazy story, and I actually think that he ran into somebody who a suspicious character, would just say that, because he met him out there in the middle of the damn, pulled over doing the paranormal stuff, and they were like, he's like, "Hey, you guys want to go see Bigfoot?" And they were like, "Yeah." So he took him to this freaking area, man. Yeah, he took him to this area, and they were like, "This dude knew something. He was up to something." And wound up scaring the shit out of the whole group, and they never saw the guy again. Yeah, it's a really crazy story. You know what's even crazier? They had the recorders going, and the guy was talking, and it never picked up his voice.
I was just gonna ask if he vanished and no one ever saw him again. Maybe he wasn't real. Maybe he wasn't a person.
Yeah, maybe a very good possibility. Because he said when they left, they hauled ass out of that area, and they said we don't even know where he went. He was gone. But they said he wasn't scared. He was just sitting down there nonchalantly, like nothing was going on. Meanwhile, they're getting screamed at, stuff thrown at them, and Walter was, I don't know, maybe 20 feet away from that 9.5 foot one, and the guy didn't even care. So, yeah. I think he was kind of, I'll show you guys. You guys want to see one of them?
Yeah, maybe he was like a woodland spirit or a spirit of those woods.
He drove an old pickup truck, maybe. But I think he was.
That is very weird.
Yeah, I personally think he was part of another entity. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Wow. That is
Well, there's
that. I
always
mean,
been reports of ghost vehicles too. So I mean, like ghost drivers, ghost vehicles. Why not? That could have been all basically like a mirage, sort of.
Yeah, but he had activity, certain phone calls afterwards, so we don't think that guy was. We think he was a real person.
wow.
I don't want to get too involved in that stuff on my show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No criminal
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm really cool with the fact that for whatever reason, like the government doesn't want us to know about this stuff. It's like I used to be like 100% against it. Like, man, you need to come out and tell us or whatever. You need to let us know. You need to tell us what you know. But in all honesty, and people laugh, but the way we acted with toilet paper, I'm like, I don't blame the
Oh
government.
God.
I don't
No.
blame them.
Yeah.
For keeping shit from us. Look how we acted with that. Perfect example.
We got crazy like wild animals.
Yeah. So I guess humanity deserves it to an extent for the government to shut up about certain stuff. Look how we act. But
Yeah. I think it's more. I think it's more accepted though. Honestly, now. But as far as like the belief that there are aliens or even whatever cryptids, but I think with everything coming out more mainstream, that's definitely helping the situation. But at the same time, it just makes more people more curious about, like you're kind of saying, is if you're letting this out a little at a time, once you just open the whole thing up. But I see what you're saying about the toilet paper, though. I get it.
yeah, like with the Tic Tac video and then the gimbal videos, it's
Right.
very grainy, and you really really can't tell too much by it. But at the same time, it's like at least they're opening up to us and showing us something. Because I'm willing to bet they've got better pictures than that. And better
Oh yeah.
that. Have you guys had any experiences with UFOs? Have you guys seen any
Well,
UFOs?
I seen a pair of UFOs when I was a teenager. It was kind of in the same area of all the stuff we've been talking about. I was at this place called Cherokee Landing. It's just outside of Sallisaw, Oklahoma, and then and I saw two of them. Like they were, they wasn't very big at all. They were like beach ball size. It wasn't big UFOs, but it's almost like they were just like playing tag with each other above a tree line. And they were just they were just out playing. They didn't even notice me, or if they did, they didn't care. But that's the only thing I'd describe as UFOs. I mean, I didn't know what it was, but it was two balls of light. They were just zigzagging. They'd touch each other and run away, and touch each other and run away. They were just just playing around. And it was like two kids, and that's what it just reminded me of. And then they wasn't doing anything weird or nothing. Just like they were just playing, and like their parents were somewhere else. It was weird.
Yeah, and that was in the wooded area.
Yeah, it was a there's this lake, and all around the lake is woods, and then there's this place you can park by the boat dock, and the boat ramp and everything is kind of open right there, and you can just see the tree lines around the whole lake, and they were just dancing around the tree line.
And that would almost make you think it was something elemental or something supernatural. I mean, you saw it. I
I mean,
didn't.
it could have been. I mean, always thought there were more UFOs. I mean, it could have been something kind of what you're describing, but it wasn't like a classic saucer or nothing like that. So I mean, but I always chopped it up to being UFOs because I mean I don't know, they were in the air and they were flying around, but like you said, it could have been something to that nature too.
What do you think about that, Rosie?
I was just thinking about a conversation that I had recently with someone that lives near us. And if we live right on the border of Fort Smith, Arkansas, and there are multiple different mass sightings in that area of Fort Smith, Arkansas, near the Fort Chaffee base and the airport in the 50s and maybe even on into the 60s. There were multiple reports articles. If you look up sightings in Fort Smith, Arkansas, like UFO sightings, you can find different articles. And a guy was telling me that during the 50s that he saw some UFOs and that it wasn't only him that reported, that multiple people reported them, and it was 1956, he said, over the airport in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And then in around that same time, not too far from there, there's a military base. It's an army base called Fort Chaffee. And in that close time frame, also there were sightings there of UFO activity. And supposedly, I'm not sure, I think that was the time that Elvis was stationed there.
Yeah, he was right there at that same time. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, Elvis Presley was there.
Yeah, that's where he got processed, and he went in the military right there at Fort Chaffee, and the big famous pictures and video and everything where they're cutting his hair and stuff in the military. That's where that was, and
the area. They always say like Elvis isn't really dead, or Elvis. I don't know. I've heard different things about him in relation to like UFOs and him coming back and him being an alien and him not really being dead, and that's kind of funny. I don't know if it's based off of that or not, but yeah, he had been in Fort Smith, Arkansas around the time of some of the UFO and alien or flying saucer sightings.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of history around this area with Elvis. So
I haven't, to my knowledge, though, myself seen the UFO that I know of, but I've always been extremely more obsessed with aliens than any other cryptid or any other spiritual thing. I've always been, all through, like high school and stuff, really just wanting to see aliens, wanting to experience, wanting to, encounter aliens.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. There's no one else in my family that's like that. I guess I was like really the weirdest one in my family. And I just had a curiosity. I'd always been spiritual, and my mom always provided different things for me to learn from, like tarot cards and palm reading books and stuff like that. But I guess I felt like I was an alien because I grew up in a small town and was kind of alienated a little bit for a little while from some people because I was different. So maybe I felt like and identified as an alien myself, and really thought, that there has to be other life out there. There's got to be there's just way too much space. That'd be a waste of all of that space to not have another race out there or another being.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jason? What got you involved in all this?
Yeah, it's as far as just specifically aliens and stuff. Of course, seeing that those two UFOs is what I call them, but I never really thought about calling them any kind of elementals or anything like that, like what you did. So I mean, you could be onto something there. It could have been something to that effect. I don't know, but as far as just interest in the paranormal in general is, you have encounters when you're younger, and then things you really can't explain. You chalk up to being a kid, but looking back on things, you kind of realize that there's something more to what you were seeing and experiencing, and then paranormal becoming a little more mainstream because of some of the the shows over the years that brought it to light. It's always been around, obviously, but you have like people like Ed and Lorraine Warren or Hans Holzer, those kind of guys that did it. They're more of the pioneers of the field, but even now their stuff's becoming more popular now than it ever kind of was, and then you kind of contribute everything to them, but it kind of helps you bring your experiences out in the light and be able to talk about it more in the open, like we are, and then wanting to know where those things come from and how are they there, and what's going on as far as you die and what's after that. And then I think there's so much evidence to prove that there are more things to this life than we can ever imagine. So it's cool to be able to lean on some of those guys that came before us that doing the same thing, and then people accept it more as us not being crazy or kooky or anything like that.
We probably are crazy, but
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think the X Files contributed a lot for me. Like the show, the X Files contributed a great deal
right.
to me for opening up that space in your mind to just wonder and have questions about what is really out there, what is some strange things that go on that we get too busy, and for a long time maybe we were just too busy not paying attention to them, and then they started being brought to our view on television, and we were like, oh, yeah, I've had an experience like that, or I've seen something like that, or I've felt something like that before.
Yeah, you talked about like open up your mind, and over the last couple of years, I really like expanded my mind, I guess you could say. Uh, I used to just stick nothing but the Bigfoot thing. Then I
Hmm.
started experimenting with so many. I don't want to say experimenting, but researching other subjects. Whether it be
Yeah.
the UFOs, aliens, even different cryptids for that matter. Um, paranormal and even tarot cards and oracle cards. I got oracle cards sitting behind me on this side over here, crystals
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So yeah. So over the last 2 years, man, I'm a completely different person than I was. When I started this journey. That's where I got the name Beyond the Woodline because coming from the Bigfoot
Right.
Yeah. It's a
background.
cool name too. A good name.
Yeah, and
That makes you curious too.
yeah, and I just figured there was something more, to it than just Bigfoot world. And, yeah. So in saying all that, I got into like dream stuff too.
That
Um,
is funny that you said that because today I
Hmm.
was thinking about, and I even made a post today and I said, has anyone ever had empathic dreams? Go ahead. Yeah, I've been having really weird, what I would call empathic dreams, but I don't want to interrupt what you were saying. It's just a coincidence.
but um, so I've been, so part of this journey that I've been on, I've been like really, really like meditating a lot, and I've been having some weird dreams, right? Some strange dreams and stuff that just doesn't seem like dreams. What do you guys think about that? About dreams that maybe aren't dreams, that are like you said, empathic dreams, or maybe just dreams with meaning behind it. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think she's definitely more the open one on the dream state stuff. Man, I tell you, dude, I just take sleep when I can get it, which is very rare. I don't get a lot of sleep, but when I dream, I don't ever remember my dreams. So I mean, I'm sure I do, but I'm sure I just don't remember them. But she has a lot more experience in that kind of thing as far as kind of what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
I remember most of my dreams. It's really probably rare that I don't remember dreams, but usually when there are different moon cycles or different retrogrades, I have different kinds of dreams. But I think like recently I've been having very empathic dreams because I will literally have a dream and something from that dream will happen the next day, probably like for the last week. Or I'll have a dream about something and then I'll run into someone the next day and they'll be telling me a story and I'll be like, I just dreamed about that last night. That's crazy. I don't understand. But like empathic dreams, I guess also when I say empathic dreams, it could be like someone you know or someone you're friends with is experiencing something and it's actually empath means like you feel things that other people feel. Like you can have empathic dreams, you can have empathic visions, you can have empathic smell, empathic emotions, empathic just different kinds of empathy or empathic gifts. I think for some reason I have empathic dreams and like I can just see if something that someone's doing or going through or maybe experiencing in a dream. And this is actually kind of new to me. I've had it happen in the past, but then it just kind of stopped. And then it like really literally happened the next day. Or wake up in the middle of the night and like know that you need to call somebody because you know that they're awake too or they're like hurt or they're like upset or they're afraid and you
Right.
just kind of like know to call them. that's kind of like empathic dreams. I don't think that all dreams are like that. Some of them could be you. Like, do you ever have a dream yourself where you kind of feel like you're doing astral projection?
Yeah, yeah,
You think?
yeah,
Because you said you've been meditating a lot.
yeah. I've had dreams like that. A lot of dreams like that actually. Especially over the last, I don't know, 8, 9 months, I've gotten really, really good at meditating. I used to
Mhm.
suck at it, and I used to
Mhm.
like had a lot of trouble sleeping. So Jason, I'm telling you, man, meditating helped me out a lot with that, and I'm serious. Man, I could not sleep. 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night was what I was running on. Now I sleep pretty good because of meditation. But yeah, I've had dreams where uh, that were just so vivid that just weren't dreams to me. Then I feel like I've like done like the astral projection stuff too.
Have you tried like burning sage
Yep.
to sleep to help you sleep?
Tell me sleep? No. But I like candles. Sometimes certain just the smell of the candles. I don't buy anything in particular. If I like the smell, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
That helps me sleep too. That kind of
Or one of those lamps that actually projects like constellations and stuff and like moons and stars and things, and it's really light and sound, but you can barely like like they usually sell them. It's like a projection that goes in your yard and it goes on your house, but you can actually buy them that are for your bedroom too. And it actually projects constellations and stuff on your ceiling and your walls.
no, I've never tried that. Um,
Really good sleep aid.
yeah, maybe I'll try that. But like I said, I've been sleeping really good just by doing the meditation because I'll go to sleep
Mhm.
listening to certain audio, to help me meditate, and I'll
Yeah.
crash out. I'll have dreams, crazy stuff. And I used to like never dream either. And even when I did, I didn't remember it. But yeah, it's been pretty. Man, the meditation helps me out a lot, and it helps me out day to day. Period. So
Yeah.
otherwise, I'd probably be in jail by now.
I was gonna say, does it help with stress and anxiety too?
It does, man. It
Yeah,
does. Yeah,
that's
pretty.
good. That's really good.
And
Yeah, and mine's not necessarily due because I can't sleep. Mine's just my schedule. I work 16 hours a day during the week. So
yeah,
I get like 4 hours of sleep during the day. But on the weekend, on Friday, I'll crash if I don't have anything scheduled for us to do what we're doing or being somewhere or anything like that. But yeah, it's just during the week, I don't know. I just live on energy drinks and uh, motivation, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, man. Shit, I've been there, man. I used to work at a job. We worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week. It was killing me.
Oh my lord.
It was killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice paycheck, but
Yeah.
killing me. Yeah.
I used to do that too. I used to work with Jason graveyard shift, and then I'd get off work, come home, take my daughter to school, and then I'd go to school and have to sit in classes for 3 or 4 hours. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I was a zombie. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, when we were talking about all the things, the paranormal and the cryptids and all that good stuff, but I think the way I've always explained it is it all fits under the paranormal umbrella. It has its own categories and, everything's separated, but it's also all the same. To me, and that's how I explain. I know a lot of people have it separated where it's not part of. You can't have Bigfoot and spirits coexist or anything like that. But I just think that's a little out there. I think it's all together. I think that the cryptids. I think they interact with aliens in some way. I think that's true. And I think that if they're all together, then everything spiritual is all together as well. So.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who think that. A lot of people who think, everything is separate. I'm probably somebody who thinks everything is separate. And, it's my opinion, but that's why we investigate and research to find
Right.
out, and one of the things that kind of gets on my nerves is like you can't say that sometimes or otherwise you'll get into a fight with people on Facebook, and it's like, man, can't we just, have a
Yeah,
nice,
no.
Disagreement
Every
sometimes? Yeah,
right,
have
everybody does it different, Yeah.
yeah, and even when it comes to investigating and researching, there's, so many different branches of how you're supposed to do it. Everybody's right.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
Maybe we're not right. Maybe nobody's right yet, and that's why we don't have the answers.
that's one thing about the Bigfoot field. People talk about their aliens. People talk they jump through portals. People say they're a paranormal entity. I'm like, can we just get this thing proven first before we start doing all this?
Yeah.
Or figure out how to discover them, how to find them.
Right. Let's do that first, and then
Yeah.
we'll figure out what they do. And
Yeah.
that goes everything from the whoops to the wood knocks, which is
Right.
fine. And I've heard whoops, I heard wood knocks, but everyone I've talked to has never seen them do it. So
Right.
and I think they do it, but let's get them figured out before we start saying what they can do and what they can't do, what their abilities are.
So, do you think they should be? Do you think they should be killed, like hunted?
No, no, I don't. I'm in the anti-kill group. I don't think they should be killed. Just like any. Like I said, I think they're a flesh and blood animal, and the only reason why I would ever shoot one is to protect myself.
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
and I've heard of so many stories where they bluff charge people. So I think just because they come up running on you doesn't mean they're going to kill you.
Right. But I think if they were going to, you shooting them probably just gonna make them mad anyway. But
Yeah.
but I was just curious about that because in Oklahoma this past year they passed the hunting license for Bigfoot. Like there's like a reward if you were to bring one in. I want to say it was like 25 grand, but they made it. They made it where you can get a Bigfoot hunting license, and it's a real thing. Like you really can do it in Oklahoma. Yeah, it's weird. So it just kind of leaves you on the fence as far as like you got a bunch of weirdos, crazy people out in the woods running around with guns trying to shoot these things.
Right.
It does say that it's like it does say dead or alive. So I mean, it doesn't. It's just your opinion on if you want to go out and try to kill one or if you want to try to bring one in to study.
I don't think you're bringing one in alive.
I don't think so either.
I think it just makes for a lot of ridiculous, like Cletus, get your boots on, let's go.
Right? Yeah.
Bigfoot hunting because we're bored and drunk. That's not gonna ever turn out good.
Right.
And unfortunately, all it takes is one stupid guy with a gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they could even just see an animal or someone in a camouflage outfit or a ghillie suit and shoot them, thinking that they're Bigfoot, or tranquilize them. Hopefully, they would tranquilize instead of shoot, but I don't think so in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Well, Texas.
Yeah, I know we haven't really talked about that much. We haven't really talked about that much anywhere, but yeah, that's a real thing. They do have a Bigfoot hunting license. I think it was just more of a way for the state to make money off of.
Yeah, I do not
people
support
trying to be crazy.
hunting, like literally hunting.
Yeah,
I don't support that,
I
especially
don't
with
either.
the uneducated people that I know in these areas.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear of psychics seeing Bigfoot, Joe? Like, have you ever talked to or interviewed any psychics that claim to see Bigfoot?
Yeah, I've talked to a lady, and she told me that she's seen Bigfoot, and she's seen where they were at. I tried to get her to tell me where they were at. She would tell me where, because it was here in Texas, and I said I want to go see the sucker, but she wouldn't tell me. I have a woman. I have a friend of mine. She's a remote viewer, and she's like remote viewed certain areas, and some she comes up with nothing, and some she's come up with we're saying that she's seen them and that she knows that they're there. And I told her about the area where my friend Walter had his encounter, which is one of the areas that I go research. And she told me, "Oh yeah, they're there. Yeah, they're definitely there."
Awesome.
And I didn't tell her about that area, prior. So but yeah, I think sometimes psychics are more tuned to that kind of stuff. And here I am saying that Bigfoot's a flesh and blood creature. Right now, I'm going to tell you that I think Bigfoot is also more in tune to having people who have psychic gifts too. So
I think so too. I always have thought that Bigfoot would be like like an enlightened or an ascended different kind of being, or like an extraterrestrial type of being. Maybe not so much like an alien or like a gray or whatever you want to call them. Maybe not like that and such, but like just like on a different vibrational level than we are.
Yeah, but I also think that maybe there's a lot that they're a lot like us in the sense that maybe some have a better are better in tune than some of us are. Than some.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Or
saying?
maybe there's baby ones that aren't as, maybe like baby ones are different levels of ones because they're different ages and they have to learn. Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, or saying just like us, period. You're probably way more superior being an empath than I am.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I think there are nice ones and I think there are mean ones, and I don't think they're necessarily the friendly forest people, but I don't think they're man eaters either. Killing machines.
I'll tell you one thing. They're not stupid. I mean, obviously they're not, or we'd have them by now if they were.
Oh yeah. But
they got.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they got to be extremely smart. They really do.
Or invisible.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, they're just they're the ninjas of the woods, man. I mean, I don't know. We can't. There's no way like just people like us can go out and do what they do and not be detected. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, even the best hunters and survivalists probably can't do what they do.
Yeah.
Like what I was gonna say is people, they see dolphins and they relate them as these friendly, fun-loving animals, but they attack people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Attack, I don't think
that
they're definitely.
Can you really imagine it though? I mean, I'm 6'3", so I would imagine if I saw something that was 9, 10 foot tall, I don't think I'd want to get close. That's. I mean, something like that could. I mean, you could toss me around like I was nothing, and I'm not a little person, so.
Yeah,
I think it would depend. It would depend on the circumstance all the way around.
Yeah, my friend Aaron, who had an encounter here in the Big Thicket, which is in East Texas, heavily wooded area. He's 6'4", and he said he came up just to above its elbow. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it would be really cool. Obviously, we want to see one and we want to observe it, but I don't think I'd want to get so close.
And he's how tall, your friend?
He's 6'4".
Jesus.
6'4", and he said I just barely came up to above his elbow.
Yeah.
He got pretty close to it, and he said this thing was not happy that he was out there.
I wouldn't imagine.
But if it wanted to kill him, if it wanted to take him, it's probably nothing he could have done about it. So.
Oh yeah. There's nothing you could do.
It could have just kicked him like a football.
Yeah. That's what I said about shooting them, man. It's like if you shoot one of those things, they're so massive and strong and stuff. It probably it just piss them off, and it's not gonna affect them much. You wouldn't think. It's just you're pretty much done at that point.
Unless you got a very, very high caliber firearm, you're very close.
Man, it'd have to be. Yeah, it'd have to be something. I mean, just think you're not going to outrun something that's 9 foot tall.
No.
Yeah, these things chase down deer. You're not going to.
You have to have like a belt fed ammo gun or something. So it just keeps going.
Like
right.
So many per minute. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not like we're going to actually have a contest to find out which caliber is going to hurt Bigfoot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and like my friend Will, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Will Devling. When he had his encounter, he was a teenager, like I don't know, 13, 15 years old, and he saw it, and he looked at him, and he said, when he saw it, he wasn't happy that I was there. All he had was a 22. He said, I'm just going to fire it in the air and try to scare it away. And he said he fired his rifle in the air, and the thing didn't go anywhere, but another one showed up.
Oh my goodness!
Sure, that's crazy. Yeah, it's best that you just kind of like put your gun away and just back up, slow. It's like, yeah, no.
I'd be more curious. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you can already tell by how we're talking how humans and Bigfoot are going to interact most of the time with each other.
Right.
And I feel like it would be really cool to observe a Bigfoot in their natural habitat with the other animals that are around.
Right. And take a picture that's not blurry.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? I've talked to people who like, man, dude, I had a camera in my hand when I saw this thing, and the last thing I thought about was taking a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
You probably have a yeah. You probably overmount. You just have this abundance feeling of just being scared shitless.
I was
don't
too
know.
busy peeing in my pants to take a photo.
And I've talked to people who told me they flat out pissed their pants. You know.
Man,
I sure have.
I can imagine. I can imagine, honestly.
Oh.
Like when we do our investigations, we're dealing with spirit activity, and so I ain't so afraid of that kind of stuff. But something that can physically probably toss me in a tree. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, a spirit can do that too.
I mean, it could, I guess, but I don't know. I'm not scared of that kind of thing.
That's interesting.
But
it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm more willing to do that though, rather than go face to face with a Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's like facing a bear at that point. Like a grizzly bear. It's all over. People say,
Yeah.
fall up in the fetal position for what?
Yeah, for what? Yeah.
Don't get in fetal position. Yeah. I don't know. It might just think you're like a baby. It might try to take you in for its tribe or something.
I just hope he's one of the Harry and the Henderson Bigfoots and not one of the big I'm gonna eat you Bigfoots.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Stuff like that happening, where Bigfoot takes care of people who are hurt or lost, or
I've heard some too. Yeah.
Or like kids who've gotten lost. They've taken them back to around other people. I've heard stories like that. Part of the missing 411, there's a few incidents where kids got lost and they say they were with a bear that fed them berries or whatever. Or man ate my hat. Yeah, stuff like that. They brought them right on back to their house or to somebody's property. I think they take care of people. Like I said, I think there's nice ones and there's not so nice ones, just like anything else.
Just like gorillas or bears or coyotes or no mountain lions. I think that they would eat you no matter what.
I don't know. It'd definitely be interesting. I want to for sure see one. I just don't want to be right next to it.
You just don't want to be a snack.
Right. Exactly. I want to be able to get some good pictures. It's not fuzzy. It's like he has a detection. Like he knows when people's taking his picture. Oh, fuzzy time. Turns it on and off. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think I think if they can detect anything, I think they can detect what a person has, as far as their intention.
Yeah.
Just like animals can. Animals can detect, who's a good person and who's not. You've been around dogs, horses, whatever.
Right.
Even like the meanest animal, if you're a good person, they'll let you come up to it. Eventually, interact with it to some degree.
Oh yeah, yeah. I still think, to me, the best evidence out there is the Patterson film, especially since they touched it up and you can actually see the detail in it now.
Right. Yeah. I saw that.
I mean, it's a pretty crazy film.
One of my cherished objects here.
Oh.
Bob Gimlin.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Signed my Astro hat.
That's cool.
He's a cool dude, man. So cool.
Yeah.
I met him in Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
At a Bigfoot conference, of course.
I was going to ask if it was a conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I wear that hat, people are like, "Hey man, who signed your hat?" It's like Bob Gimlin. And people are like, Who the hell's pumpkin?
Unless you're at a Bigfoot conference.
That's pretty funny.
Then maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of some of the most famous film of all time of anything, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, of anything.
It's really one of the most picked apart films for sure.
So what do you guys have going on? You guys have any conferences coming up? Any investigations coming up? You want to talk about that people know about?
We got a really busy time coming up for us. We got different paracons, different mini cons we're going to be at. We got an event in November. I mean, we're all booked up until the end of the year, really. But we'll be
August. I mean, September and October and November.
Yeah. We've gotten a little break beforehand, so we've got some stuff coming up with, like some well-known people will be there, and some that's just kind of starting out. So it'd be a fun time.
Do you guys have a YouTube channel or a Facebook page that people can find you guys at?
Yes, Facebook.
Yeah, you want to talk about the Spectral Sailor stuff?
Yeah, the Facebook page, you can either look up on the Night Terror Collective page. There's two different ones, business and public page for Night Terror Collective. And then for Spectral Sailor, there's a public page. Or you can look on YouTube under the Spectral Sailor, and it has some of the live investigations we've done, some of the special, probably the best things are like little nuggets of better moments, probably, or things that have happened on live investigations on the YouTube for the Spectral Sailor, and every show that we've done from the beginning of the Spectral Sailor. Every interview is on there too.
Cool, man. You guys have any advice to people who might want to get involved in this field, whether it be paranormal, UFO, cryptid stuff? You have any advice for them?
Yeah. Be completely open-minded. Be a believer and a skeptic, both, because you can't be completely one or completely the other and get all the answers. I don't think. That's my opinion. And just go and experience it with as many different people as you can. Don't take what one person says as the complete truth, because there's not an expert anywhere in this field.
Yeah, I was kind of going to say the same thing. Don't listen to people telling you you're doing something wrong or whatever, because there is no right or wrong way. You develop your own style, and you do it the way you want, and then you'll lean into it more however you want to as you go. But just do it for the right reasons and
have fun.
Yeah.
While you're doing it.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, just have fun. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of jealousy and that kind of thing in this field, and people trying to close doors on you, and then
just don't let them do that. If you're really passionate about it, just still go on and blaze your path.
Yeah. You got to think yours right. Yeah, have fun. Do your own thing. Don't let anybody bring you down. You love it, man. Do it. Just enjoy it. That's we're here for a short time, so don't let anybody else bring you down.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's okay to disagree with other people without people getting mad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who knows who's right?
Right.
I could be full of shit for all I know.
Yeah.
That's what we're. And like I said, that's why we do this, man. To find answers.
Sure.
Cool beans, guys, man. I'm glad you guys came on the show. Thanks a lot, man. It was cool chatting with you guys, and an hour went by fast. Like I said, we just started. I don't even know what we talked about. We just talked, right?
Right. That's the best thing, man. Just
everything.
BSing.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Beans, guys. You guys have a great night. Like I said, thanks for joining. You guys have anything you want to share, man? Tag me in it. I'll share it. If you're not members of the Beyond the Woodline page, join and post whatever you guys want, and let people know what you're doing, and you got my blessing to do that.
Thank you.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us on. We appreciate it.
beautiful beings, guys. Well, you guys have a great night, and guys in the chat room, you guys have a great night as well.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody.